I believed in the philosophy that Dr. Joey conveyed, and yourself with guiding me through some of these things. And so it's very important, that you believe in the philosophy, or if the philosophy is the same as what you think,
Right, right.
obviously. So
Yeah, and by
yeah.
philosophy, what do you mean by philosophy?
Well, basically, what when I first when I my first meeting with Joey was about how he felt. The reason why the exercise he was his approach to exercise and movement was different from what everybody else is offering. So, like, I could go to Planet Fitness and say, yeah, my shoulder, I got a bone on bone arthritis in my shoulder, and they say, well, stand over here at this machine and adjust the weight to whatever you feel you can pull, and then just pull, you know the the whatever, you pull the weights up on the machine,
Right.
and you're doing this, and it's hurting all the time you're doing it. And his your approach is different, where you're not really using weights, you're using your body, and you're using the movement of your body to cure yourself. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. And actually, it's more about the mechanics of the shoulder, and what you can, the amount of ability that you've lost through age and through injury. And how do we get bone on bone arthritis? I don't know. It's from overuse. I mean, I was never a quarterback. I was never a pitcher. So I can understand how those guys can overwork their shoulder joints. But me, I think I do more harm to myself when sleeping than I do anything else. You know. But
Gotcha, yeah.
but again, the philosophy is like the way your approach is on physical therapy and movement.
Man, yeah,
Does that
no, I
make
appreciate
sense
you
to you?
sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I guess, like, when you started, what was kinda, like, your biggest, like, challenge or frustration, with the shoulder before we kinda started working together?
Well, my biggest frustration was that my current chiropractor did not have any recommendations for me. They got my shoulder unfrozen, several years ago, and they wanted to give me like these injections and stuff. I said, no, I'm not having any of that. I said, I have the ability to move, so I should be able to cure myself by moving in the right ways. That was always been my mechanical thought process, is that your body has mechanics. There's got to be a way. If you're getting pain in a joint, especially like shoulders, upper body, if you're getting pain there, then there's something that you're not doing right. So I had to figure out what I need to do that's right. So I hope that makes sense, and that's what I get. Yeah, that's what I get out of you guys.
And I like that, I like that. And, could how did you kinda feel about kind of the remote experience versus kind of the in-person experience? How did that kinda work out with, like, your schedule and everything?
Well, I I'm not a remote learner. I mean, I've been in the advertising business for 45 years, and as far as, like, I've taken online training on the computer, like, for software and design programs, and I can't do it. I have to be in a place where there are other people doing it, working with you, so you can share ideas. It doesn't work online. It's hard to follow, because usually it's videotaped or, recorded, and you gotta keep running back and forth to understand what they're doing. Whereas exercise, like physical therapy, in this format on a platform like yours is something that you can take in your own time, and you can, like the short videos, you can watch those. They're very short, and the exercises don't take that long to do. And if you want to go back and do them again, you're free to do that. But I mean, like for example, like remember, I don't know if you remember, I had a problem with the bench opener exercises, the way it was prescribed to do them, leaning down and having something to lean on, bending down and having something to lean on. My body just doesn't work that way. And you told me to sit in a chair and do it on a table, put your arms on a table. And that really loosened my whole neck and shoulders up, So whenever I get tight in the neck and shoulders, I'll get to the table and I'll do that. I'll do 12 of those, couple of sets of 12 of those, and I'm good to go. So it's just a matter of stretching in the right way.
Yeah, the doing the right movements with the proper dosage and then a little bit of sprinkle, a little bit of time, and that's the secret recipe right there. We obviously, we're talking back and forth. You're filling out the forms. You did some Zoom calls. Like, what did you kind of think about like the support, the communication, doing the Zoom calls? What did you kind of think about that?
No, I thought it was great. Because you're easy to access. I can send you a note, and within a day, I can get a message back that we can talk. And so yeah, I thought that worked out great. And the other thing is, like, if you go, I don't think I could have done this in person with a chiropractor because their time doesn't allow you to do that in their office. But and sometimes, so what you guys have done is you've given like a range of exercises to do on a daily basis, and you can take them or leave them. If you can't do them, you can't do them. I just let you know I can't do that, and then you offer something different. So, but I always have something that I can do on a daily basis. And some days I don't do them at all, because I just don't have time. So, but they're not really time consuming because prior to this, I think I told you I was going to the gym every day for 2 hours, and I enjoyed that experience too. But now that I can do a lot of this at home, I don't need to go to the gym as much.
Gotcha. And before we started working together, what was the farthest you said you rode your motorcycle?
Probably half hour, 45 minutes.
And then this past weekend, you went how far again?
I went 120 miles, and I left at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I got back at 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah. How long had it been since you'd ridden that far on the motorcycle?
I've never been that long on the motorcycle.
Dude,
It's
that's
just been
nice.
little trips around. Where I live, we have like a state park. There's a mountain state park up the street from me, and there's all these beautiful roads, like little country roads. So I would go out for like a 20-mile ride, 20 or 30-mile ride, and come home. And this time I went out to the western part of the state with a friend of mine that I work with, and we went out to this town, had lunch, and then came back, and we stopped at different places along the way. So it was a really nice day, and beautiful roads out in the middle of nowhere, and just beautiful.
Yeah, and how important was it for you to be able to get out there like that?
Oh, it was really important because, like I said, I spent all this money on this motorcycle and gear, and I wanted to enjoy it, but my shoulder wouldn't allow me to do that to the extent that I would like to. So now I have a little bit more confidence to be able to go out on a longer ride and just enjoy myself.